What's up, guys? Welcome to the Daily
Good
Refinement
morning.
Simulation. Appreciate you guys coming to my show. I have been reselling full time for about 7 years now, and I have been working by myself as an entrepreneur for almost 10 years. So next year on my birthday, which is Christmas Day, it'll be my 40th birthday. So next year when I turn 40, I'm buying a sports car. I have been sacrificing for so long, and I'm going to trade in my 2009 Prius and get something a lot cooler. So I'm pretty excited about that. But today I want to talk about 10 rules for reselling. And this is going to apply no matter what level you are, small, big, medium, huge, whatever you are at. Right now, currently, I am doing around $50,000 to $60,000 per week on Whatnot. And on Poshmark, I'm doing around $300 a day. So around $2,000 per week on Poshmark. So like two, I'm just starting out, one a little bit more established. I think this month I will hit 10,000 in sales on Poshmark, which is my second month, first full month on the platform. And I'm going to go over a whole bunch of the rules that I have on Poshmark and on Whatnot. And you guys can give me some feedback on some rules that you have and some interesting things you guys are thinking about. So let's get straight to it. Maybe I'll give you a couple of rules on each side, and then Isaiah in the group texted me and asked me a couple of questions, which I thought were pretty good. And we'll start with one of the things from him, which is, when should you start looking into a bigger space? He asked how much space I have here. So in this spot, I have 3,100 square feet. I am looking in the different warehouses because I want a real loading dock. Not having a loading dock here is a huge pain in the butt. So I want a real roll-up door, and I want a real loading dock. It's going to save me a lot of time. So a lot of the reasons why all my equipment is failing, like forklifts are breaking, literally a forklift broke because the way this building is set up, it's just too difficult for it to get stuff into the building. So I want something that's actually set up to receive pallets. So I'm looking at that. But 31 square feet here, I'm looking at another location that's 5,000 square feet. And my Poshmark store, this is really important, is 225 square feet, the size of a one-car garage, and I do not want it to ever get bigger than that. So I think that, right now I'm doing a lot of planning of my life, and I feel like I don't want my Poshmark closet really to have more than 10 sales per day because I don't want to manage it. More space, more inventory, more planning. I don't really want to do that. I want 2,000 items in my store or less and 10 sales per day. So this is the rule that I have in my Poshmark closet, and I'll compare it to Whatnot. So to give you guys an idea, what I'm talking about on my channel has nothing to do with what you should do. You should just listen to what I have to say and then filter it through your own what you should do and decide, is this getting me closer to my goal or not? In the last video that I posted yesterday, somebody posted that every step that you take is taking you one step closer or further away from your goal. So now I'm being really careful. This morning, I was literally watching where I stepped to make sure, am I getting closer to where I want to go or not? And my personal goal for Whatnot is to make $1 million a year profit, $3 million a year in sales. My goal on Poshmark is to make $70,000 profit and around $150,000 in sales. So closer to 50% profit margin on Poshmark, closer to 33% on Whatnot. Way, way more overhead running a business like this. And I also showed my credit card statement. Like, it costs about 100 grand to run my operation per month, not including staff. So a lot. It's like 6 figures, and just to run this every day, it costs more than it's like $3,800 a day to keep the lights on in here. So pretty expensive. So I don't want that for my Poshmark closet. I also don't want this to grow any bigger. I have decided that I just need enough space to operate properly. I'm not looking to actually expand. I want a different warehouse because I want a different layout. It's not actually because I need more space. In the next space, I could actually just go with 2,500 square feet, but the cost of space is actually cheaper once you start getting bigger. It's kind of like the 0 to 2,000 square feet, everything is pretty expensive. It's like $2 a square foot. Above 3,000 square feet, it starts getting closer to $1 a square foot. So it's almost like I'd rather have more space than I need. And in the next week or so, I'm selling around $3 million worth of stuff on Whatnot. So most of this stuff will be gone. So this space will be mostly empty, except for my bondage room and my little Poshmark closet in the corner, 90% empty in here. So I have a bunch of new rules. So one is on Poshmark, I want things to sell within 6 months, as I told you guys. Items come in, I want to list everything within 3 weeks. So I want 2 weeks of backlog, so no more than 2 weeks of unlisted items in my Poshmark closet, which I already have, so I can just get started right now. And in my Whatnot store, I don't want more than 2 weeks of unlisted stuff either. Now, a little bit of a different setup because in my Poshmark closet, I want things to sell in 6 months or less. Here, I want things to sell in around 2 months. So I want 2 week backlog. So when items come in, I want to get them listed within 3 weeks. Then the first 5 weeks, I want to actually list the item. So the item comes in, I want to list it immediately. But I'm okay with that. So 0 to 3 weeks is the buffer for listing Poshmark and here. Then I'm actually gonna have it full price on Whatnot for about 5 weeks. So 5 weeks of trying to get the most money for it, looking for consumers to buy, because consumers pay a lot more than resellers. The last week I will liquidate 2 resellers. As an example, these Echo shoes that I'm selling, they're $150 MSRP. They're $150 MSRP, and there's 6 per box, so it's around $900 MSRP per box. And I've been selling the boxes for around $150, and people are reselling it for around $350 to $400-ish. So people are not quite doubling their money. They're maybe making 50% on their investment. So they spend $150, maybe they make $100. So this wholesale part is not my favorite because you have to sell more items to make money. So like if you're selling all your items and only making 10%, you have to sell 10 times as much to make the same as the people who are just doubling their money. So there's a balance between how many items you're selling and the profit margin per. So for me, the perfect is 1/3. So 3 million in sales, 1 million in profit would be perfect where I'm at. That would mean about half of my sales go to consumers, people looking for cool stuff. Half of the sales would go to resellers, where people are looking to resell the stuff. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea. On Poshmark, I want to wait 6 months or less. Here, I want to wait 2 months or less. Last week, after I can't sell it for what I'm looking for, auction everything starting at $1, not being greedy. And on some of the items, to be honest, on Whatnot, I will lose money. On Poshmark, though, I will never lose money because I'm asking so much for the item. And this is my Poshmark pricing strategy, if you guys are wondering. I do 10% off with discounted shipping of $5.95. I'm doing that every 5 minutes all day. I'm using the tool Flip to automate that part. So sharing my closet about 10 times a day, discounting 10%, $5.95 shipping. All the offers that come in, I counter offer 10% off and discounted shipping. So that's my counter offer every single time. It makes it easy. I don't have to think about it. I'm not going to get butthurt or get my feelings messed up if somebody lowballs me. I don't know what is happening on Poshmark where people are so people get a lowball offer and it ruins their week. I don't know how. Well, I don't know why that's a thing on the Poshmark community, but maybe don't take it personal and just have a rule like mine: 10% counter offer. Don't worry about it. I discount my items once every 30 days, 10%. So over the course of 6 months, I'm going to be lowering the price 10% 6 different times. At that point, if it doesn't sell, I'm going to take it off Poshmark, stream it on Whatnot, get whatever I can get for it. I don't want any items longer in my store than 6 months and 1 week. Once it gets pulled off of Poshmark, it'll go. So that's my strategy. I don't actually think any of my items are going to last that long because so far on Poshmark, I have a 100% sell-through rate, meaning everything I list sells within a month. But I'm just being conservative, 6 months. Also, with Whatnot, it's not really taking me 2 months to move in inventory either. It's fast. I'm just setting up some, long-term rules. So with Poshmark, I don't want to use any of my own money. Whatnot, I have decided different strategy. So essentially, I want to keep using the same amount of money over and over and over again. I don't want to invest any new capital into this. So I'm actually going to keep this business the exact same size, totally happy with my crew, jazzed with my crew, don't want to change it. Maybe one more person to help me with shipping because it's kind of insane. Also, I know you guys may not like this, but I bought a minivan on Saturday.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
I bought a Honda Odyssey. So it's going to get here in a couple of weeks. Right now in the Bay Area, there's still a car shortage, but I still got a good deal. So I bought a Honda Odyssey on Saturday, a white one. I'm happy. A whole bunch of things that made me realize a whole bunch of things, but buying that van is going to make my flea market trips way better. Because right now, I'm making multiple trips to the flea market to bring all the stuff back, and that sucks. Now, I'm pretty sure I can bring everything back in one trip, which is like fantastic. On Sundays, I can no longer work past 7 a.m. Guys, this is a lot of information, I'm sorry. I can no longer work past 7 a.m. because I want to be home with my wife, and at 7 o'clock, Henry, my son, wakes up. I also found out that Henry is an acronym for me. So this is funny. In the financial fire world, Henry means high income, not rich yet. So I'm in that category, very, very high income, but not rich yet. So it's funny that my son has that name. But anyway, at 7 o'clock, I wake him up from his nap. So I want to be there to wake him up, change him, hand him off to my wife for feeding. And my daughter wakes up around 6:30 and she's 2. So I was like looking at the monitor, maybe like 3 Sundays ago, I saw my wife trying to juggle 2 kids, and I decided, you know what, it's not worth it for me. So last Tuesday, Tech and Sports, on his call, he said, what kind of business do you want to run? I want to run a business where I can spend the time with my family when I want to. And I want to be with my wife during that crunch time, the first hour in the morning, because it's really hard, to be honest, to feed one, and my daughter is only 2, so it's hard. So I want to be there that entire time. Also, I'm going to be adding in cooking. So my routine is going to be 7 a.m., wake up Henry, take Henry, give it to mama, give Henry to mama, take Natalie, go cook, hang out. During the week, she goes to childcare. During the weekends, we hang out and cook together. But I want to have time to cook because my number one priority in life is my health. So I want to really, really get into it, make sure that I am 10 out of 10 in health. And I feel like right now, probably like 7.5, 8 on health. But being a 10 on 10 in health, there's no reason for me not to have that. So got to be perfect on my health. Number two priority for me is family. So I don't want to miss any of that. So the minivan is really, really going to help because I get up at around 3:30 on Sunday to go to the flea market. And I'm not going to stop doing that because I'm used to it and I just have been doing it forever. And that funds my Poshmark / wholesale business, which covers the cost of my warehouse, including the van. So I can pay for the van and my warehouse with just my flea market trip, which is nice because this is interesting, guys. I wake up at 3:30 on Sunday. By 7, when I go home, I've already paid my bills for the week, which means that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, straight into the bank. Literally cover all my bills by Sunday. But I do have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning and hustle to go there, find all the stuff, bring it back here, package it all up so it can be picked up. I'm actually still looking for that one customer that wants to do local pickup, and I'll give you a screaming deal on the stuff from the flea market. But maybe that's not possible, and Tech and Sports had recommended I put everything into one pallet, ship it to one customer. That way shipping is a little bit more affordable. Because right now it's costing around $400 to $500 to ship this stuff to people. And what I really wanted to do was have somebody local come pick it up. They save the $400 or $500, and then I can just give it to them every single week. But I don't think that's really going to be realistic because a lot of people who are really good at business, they can go to the flea market themselves and skip me as the middle person, right? So it's probably just going to be for people who don't live in an area where they can do it themselves. Everybody here in the Bay Area, they're doing it. Also, Alameda County. Are you in Alameda County too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alameda County is the 9th most expensive county in the country. It's really hard. To live here is the 9th hardest out of any place. Okay, so it's people here, like, they are hustling to try to make it work. So maybe this is not the right environment to find somebody local to come pick it up. And it would need to be like maybe in a more suburban area, because the people who can drive here, they've all been driving around 3 hours to get here. And at that point, I might as well just ship it to you because it costs like $300 to ship it to you if you're that close. And that's definitely not worth coming here, putting all the stuff into your car and then getting it shipped to you. It doesn't make sense. So still working on the local connection with the flea market, but the van is really great. The reason why I picked the Odyssey over the Sienna is because I don't need the reliability or the gas mileage because I don't drive very much. So I'm only going to put 7,000 miles on the Odyssey. I leased it because I'm pretty sure that it's going to get beat up hauling all these packages. Plus with 2 young kids, I mean, the car is probably going to be pretty beat up, and the equity at the end of 3 years is so insane. If you guys have ever looked into minivans, they're worth more at the end of three years than the residual amount, way more. So the residual amount on the Honda Odyssey is like 24 grand. That's what I could buy the car for at the end if I want to, but they sell for like 28 to 32. So it's like you can flip it at the end and make a pretty decent profit at the end, which makes it even cheaper to lease. So it made me realize also I hate working on cars and taking it into the mechanic is such a waste of time. So I'd rather, at this point in my life, my rich life is not having to buy older cars anymore. I just want to lease cars forever. Because because it's just easier for me to not have to maintain cars. It's a little bit more expensive. It's like $3,000 more per year to lease every time. But at this point, I want to make my time, I think, is worth more than that, and I like that. I actually like going into finance, and they're like trying to sell you an extended warranty and be like, I don't need the extended warranty, I don't need the paint protection, I don't need any of that because I'm returning it in 3 years and don't care. That makes me feel really good. Now, if I can't live that rich life, next best would be 2 paid off cars that are less than 10 years old. I know that sounds crazy, but that's a rule I have in my life. I would love to drive a car that's less than 10 years old, that it's paid off. If I can't lease forever, that's my second choice. I've been doing that. I've been driving 15-year-old cars for 10 straight years to save money to get to this position. So time to reward myself. Life is short. Maybe I get hit by a bus. So I really want to enjoy a car. And for my 40th birthday, I am 100% buying a sports car. So I'm not going to wait any longer. I've wanted one for such a long time. So I'm just going to get one, even though I have 2 small kids and I can only drive it 20 miles a week. That's okay. Also, I do want a warehouse. This sounds so stupid, but I want to park my car in it. Like all the warehouse, there's so many warehouses where you can park your car in it. So even though that's stupid, I do want to park my car inside of the warehouse. That's like priority number 100, but that would be cool. And most places with a loading dock have that option. So I want a loading dock and a rolling door. That'd be perfect for me. Okay, back to more rules. There's so much stuff. Sharing my closet 10 times a day. 10% counter offer. Oh, and yeah, the counter offers. Let's see. Is there any other thing? I think that's everything. That was a lot. Oh yeah, money wise, I want to buy stuff that I can double my money plus extra on Whatnot within 2 months, and on Poshmark within 6 months. So that's the rule for me money wise. Double my money plus extra, and however much extra is whatever. But that's the minimum I am buying for. And that's it. Hopefully there's a bunch of questions.
Yep, lots of questions.
Okay.
I'll start from the top. Regarding your warehouse, I think Dorothy was saying 5 will be too small too soon.
I'm not going to grow. I just want more empty space. I don't want to sell more things. I've already done that. At one point I had 11 employees here. Not fun. It's just me doing HR all day. At that stage, this is going to sound so crazy. It costs $10,000 a day to run my business. I don't want that. I tried that. It's cute. It's fun for a minute, but then you gotta like do HR, and then there's so much liability, and there's so much stuff moving through here, guys. The post office, I can't even like, dude, like 1,100 sales a day was so insane. Do you guys remember? You probably remember. It was so ridiculous. The amount of shipping was so mind blowing. No, I don't want to get any bigger because then it would sacrifice my other values. I don't want to be here all day. I already made the rule to close on weekends. I don't want, right now, Rachel works on the weekend and she's amazing, so I'm going to keep her working on Sunday because she wants to, but the second she doesn't want to work on Sunday, it's all good, but she's a very good employee, so I don't need to babysit her on Sunday. She's perfectly self-reliant. So she only sends me a text if there's some kind of extraneous thing that she needs a question with, and I put that in my values. I put quality time for me means minimal interruptions. To me, it's not no interruptions. I know some people say that, but I feel like that's not realistic. When you run your own company, I don't know if you can do it with no interruptions. That sounds like not real. Minimal, sure. 1 or 2 texts a day, I think is reasonable. There's a question, electricity's out, the internet's out. That's the price you pay to be an entrepreneur. If you want no interruptions, then just pick a job. I wouldn't pick entrepreneur if you want no interruptions. Like my staff, when they go home, hopefully I'm not texting or calling them. I'm like I don't like doing that. Christine, I bother off hours, which I don't like already, but eventually it will be minimal interruptions for her and everybody else.
Regarding Rachel, Dana says, oh my gosh, watched Whatnot show yesterday and she did amazing.
Yeah, so this thing is crazy. People said, can you send me wholesale from Rachel's picks? Guys, you realize that Rachel's picks are my picks? Like I specifically sourced for her. And people are saying, no, I don't want you to do it. I want her to do it. And I'm like thinking to myself, guys, she is picking from the inventory I pick for her. She's not out there shopping for me. She's shopping here.
Well, it's an extra level of picks. Pick from a picks.
I guess I could have Rachel pick for you, but I'm telling you guys that I specifically, we have a box over there that's only stuff for Rachel to sell. So that's like, she is a personal stylist and knows so much about how to make it look nice, right? So she can sell stuff for a lot more. But I specifically pick stuff for her, guys. It's not magic. Like the stuff that is more generic, that stuff is volume based. The stuff that's really fancy and nice, we sell that piecemeal.
The Gig is Up says, my main eBay store is baseball cards, but I have access to some good deals on men's clothing and have some personal items to liquidate. Am I good to list all in the same eBay store?
You can list all in the same eBay store, and I recommend everyone here look for an advantage that is local. So if you have a local men's clothing shop or a plug of some kind near you, I recommend you take advantage of that. That's a huge advantage. So like where I am at, the big advantage is there's so many flea markets here and so many thrift stores. If you live in the middle of nowhere, your advantage is cheap rent, right? So if I was living in the middle of nowhere, which I'm not opposed to, I was even talking about this yesterday. I live in the 9th most expensive place to live. What if I lived in the 9th cheapest place to live, right? Middle of nowhere, no stoplights, only neighbors are cows. I think you could get like a Costco-sized building for very reasonable, right? And at that stage, you're getting stuff for so cheap. All the biggest companies in America with distribution are in the middle of nowhere. So I don't even know what that's like to not have to wake up with that much overhead. But that's what I think that everyone should be looking for local advantages.
J-Dub says, I'm literally just starting out, just selling personal stuff to build up money to invest into reselling.
I love it.
What are your tips to get views on product?
Okay, the main thing is that you should be picking items with built-in views. This is really important. So somebody made the title Mizzen and Main, and they used the plus symbol because on the brand is Mizzen plus Main is the brand. And I actually interviewed Kevin, the CEO, and he was like telling his wife, okay, honey, we're gonna build $100 million brand, right? It's gonna take like 15 years. So all of our like things that our friends are doing, we're not gonna do that for 15 years. And at that point, we're gonna not have to work anymore because we're gonna have this giant brand. This is the Mizzen and Main founder. His goal was make a household brand that's worth $100 million or more. Okay, you got that right? That's in slot number 1. Slot number 2. Guy posted on eBay with just Mizzen and Main in the title, no other words. So 80 characters, he only used 12 for Mizzen and Main, right? The shirt's still sold for $30 with no optimization. No, he didn't even put shirt, just Mizzen and Main, the brand, nothing else. So Kevin, the CEO, succeeded at making a $100 million brand, and this reseller succeeded just by using that $100 million brand name. Didn't do anything else except for put the name in the shirt. One picture, still sold for 30 bucks. And you have people who are selling Alfani or George or Kirkland, not good brands, every single keyword known to man, fully optimized, $8.99, coupon, promoted listings, newsletter, offer to watcher, gigantic store. Still can't sell it because nobody wants it. So if you are just starting, small and expensive, spend all your time looking at the thrift store. Go to 10 thrift stores and find 2 items that are really good, list those. Do not go to one thrift store and buy 100 items and go home and list it and see what happens. That's what everyone gets stuck into, including me, and you'll have a big, crappy store. So while you're small and just getting started, please listen to that advice.
B says, hey Chris, how far is your current space from your home? I am looking at a new unit that is only an 8-minute walk from my house instead of a 30-minute bus ride. How important do you think that is?
I picked this location because it is an 8-minute drive from my house. It's around, I would say 4 miles from where I live. And the other warehouse I was looking at with the loading dock is around 10 miles from where I live. So it would triple my commute time going to, actually maybe not triple, double. It would be in Hayward, which is closer south. So if you go, it would be reverse traffic and wouldn't be terrible. And I was thinking about, I don't know, maybe using that from my giant lot shows and using this from my individual shows, because this I got a really good deal on. But I would recommend getting the closest spot you can and paying the extra, because rent ends up not being very much of your, ends up being like 2 to 5% of your total revenue. So I would rather work a little harder to get the space I want closer to me.
Trina says, how much should I charge on eBay to earn $20 profit?
So that's going to depend on a couple of things. Your buy costs, how much you charge for shipping, the amount of fees, your promotions, and your cost of labor, and your facility that you do it out of. So here it costs like $2 an item for all the overhead. It's a lot, like $1 to $2 per item, or in this scenario per lot, $1 or $2 per lot or item to get something actually sold. At home, it actually might cost you zero, because let's say you're paying your house, all of it for personal, like your rent's 800, you pay 800. You're already paying that for personal. There is no business cost of the actual location. You do it yourself, no labor cost. You charge the customer for shipping. You could do plus shipping costs minus the fees on shipping, and you got the item for free. In that scenario, probably like $30 plus $30 including shipping, first class, you probably net $20. Got it for free, did everything for free. So it's really important to go through our group and do the exercise that Tech and Sports recommended and handwrite $1, this is how much I make, $2, this is how much I make, $3, this is how much I make, all the way to 100, and you'll just mentally know how much you have to buy and sell something for to make it make sense for you. Me, currently, I'm doing things only for $20 profit. To give you my example, I need to buy for less than 8 and I need to sell for 35 and more. So 35 plus shipping, for me personally, $8 and less buy cost. On Poshmark, how it works out is $35 after their $8 fee is 28. 28 minus 8 is $20 profit. That's how I do it on my business on the Poshmark side. Here on this side, a little different. I'm aiming for a $60 average sale price over here, right? And I'm trying to keep my buy cost $20 and less on this side. After all that, 20, buying for 20, selling for 60, I get a $23 profit. Does that make sense, guys? So still aiming for a $20 profit on both sides. This side, I'm paying up $20 per item. That side, $8 per item. But honestly, it's nowhere near $8. When you look at the, we have a mentorship group that's like a more expensive one that's a little bit more serious. That one, when you look at people's buy costs, it's usually like $1 to $4. People have found a way to get cheaper stuff, like at the flea market, or Dollar Day, or they shop at the Goodwill bins, or they do garage sales. So they're not really paying $8 per item. That's why the people who can only memorize cannot actually resell. Because last time we showed, Christine edited in my friend Matt's store, and it has white background. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, he said white background is not important. This store has white background, and then they exploded and they can't work for 2 weeks. Like you can't only do one way. There's like so many different ways to do this. So like, there's no one rule of doing this. A lady literally had a breakdown because it had white background. And she's like, oh my God, I've been so set on gray background. And now this guy has white background. So now I have to give up. So you just can't have those kind of reactions.
Yeah.
For his business, white background makes sense. So please don't, I don't even know what that's called. I just have I have this visual of a robot overheating and steam and then exploding. So just don't be like that.
Yeah. ACR says, what is your advice on selling fragrances on eBay?
Fragrances are highly counterfeited, so be careful. Fragrances are highly counterfeited. A lot of those brands are very protective of their scent. So I'm okay with it. You just got to put the work in to make sure that your fragrance is authentic. And I believe it needs to be shipped ground, not supposed to ship it through the air. So make sure that you do the proper research on how to ship it. But fragrances are great, small, lightweight, especially older ones, which are less likely to be counterfeited. Those are fantastic. The newer ones a little scarier because those brands will come after you.
240JZ says, hello, I would like to know, how do you know how much money of your money you make is yours to pay bills, and how much is taxes and cogs? In other words, how do you organize your money to see your returns?
So the best way to do this is to do it daily, in my opinion. So how much revenue did you make that day? Let's say you made $200 that day. How much did you spend on average for those items? How much did you spend on shipping? How much did you spend for your facility? Whatever is left is what you pay taxes on. So I would do it day by day. If you're really getting started, I would do it transaction by transaction. Like you bought this for 20, you sold it for 50, there was $12 in shipping, the fees were $8. How much do I have left? And then just slowly build your foundation there. Do not wing it.
Yeah.
You gotta know.
Yeah, you actually have a really good Google sheet that you made.
I have a Google sheet that is now pinned to the top of our mentorship document. So if you guys go there, there's a calculator for how to determine your own profit and also how many you need to list each week to make the amount of money that you need. And that was one of my favorite comments ever. Yesterday on the video, somebody posted, and I already mentioned this, but somebody posted, every step you take is getting you closer or further away from your goal. That document will help you make your goal. And I'm already setting everybody's goal at, maybe pause the video, smash the like button if you guys are listening right now. Your goal is 100 items a week times $20 profit in 40 hours or less in your house. So $2,000 a week profit is six figures, it's $104,000 per year. 100 listings is around 13 to 15 listings per day. $20 per item means you have to be an expert in what you are selling and where to find it. Now, hopefully you guys have a pulse right now and are like, no, I can't do that. And if you say, no, I can't do that, please let me know why you cannot. Write that down. That's what you're supposed to work on. Okay, so pretty easy, right? If you're having this visceral reaction right now, and you're like, I hate you, then just write down why you can't do that, right? What you can do, and then Maya Angelou, do the best you can until you know better and then do better. Right now you can't do that, right? That's okay. You eventually will be able to do it if you know where you are at now, because you're going to take one step closer to what I just said. But if you don't know where you're going, it just looks like that map of footprints going in every direction. You're not getting any closer.
Premier Finds says, how do you share your Poshmark closet 10 times and not go over the share limit? How big is your closet?
I have 28 items in my closet, so I have around 9 to 11 sales a day with 28 items. When I was listing one-off items, my closet was 30 and I was selling 1 to 2 a day. So if you're listing a whole bunch of garbage, you will never be able to get out of that sharing limit thing. Somebody told me the sharing limit's around 5,000 items. So you have 500 items in your store, sharing it 10 times, you'll hit the sharing limit. So my recommendation is if you're just starting, small closet that's selling things really fast. I wouldn't recommend the big stores that don't sell anything. I'm not sure which influencer is recommending that, but I'm looking at closets with 7,000 items that only sell one item a day. So that sounds really brutal. That's a lot of space, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of mental real estate, a lot of very, very negative mental health from being on your phone all day. I even wrote that down. I think optimal for me would be less than 5 hours a week on my phone and 0 social media would be ideal for my mental health. I don't think any of that is useful unless you are following people who are already where you want to go. Social media is a huge waste of time.
Premier Finds says it's a 9K share limit.
Okay, well, I mean, whatever it is. I think you should be nowhere near that. I don't want to share that much. It's like not a good use of your time.
Dana says, any hope in getting an eBay account enabled again? I got dinged during COVID for late shipping and status dropped. I quit selling for a while, so they suspended me since I didn't get it back up in time. Last time I contacted eBay, they couldn't help.
Yeah, you just keep trying. They usually let most people on within a year.
Okay. Laura says, Chris, got my first Vero violation on a Pusheen the cat plush. eBay said that the company reached out to them and said that the item is counterfeit.
Yep.
Will that Vero eventually disappear from my account?
Some people say a year. However, I haven't found a single or a couple Vero things that look like non-malicious really hold your account in bad favor. Like, let's say you list 99.9% correct and accidentally you listed something you didn't know whether or not it was real or not. Usually that's not going to affect your account significantly. But if you keep doing it, you'll get suspended. So just list things that you know more about in the future. It shouldn't hurt you overall.
Ilya Mora says, hey Chris, quick question. I'm changing from free shipping to charging for shipping.
Yep.
I'm listing 25. I'm selling around that much.
Yep.
Do you think it will slow down my sales?
No, I don't think so. As long as you reduce the item cost by the amount you're charging for shipping, it should make no difference. And you'll pick up a couple of bucks on returns because you won't have to pay return shipping for
Mm-hmm.
buyer's remorse.
Mm-hmm.
Great questions today.
Yeah. Blake Bargain Hunter says, question, how do you do research on eBay to better understand your customer? What items they like, when they shop, what offers attract them the most? I wish buying history was easier to access.
So that's on my list of Poshmark rules. So I actually comp using eBay. So let's say I'm selling a pair of Clark's leather shoes. Clark's leather shoes on eBay, get an idea of what it's going to sell for. Let's say it sells between $28 and $90, right? Try to do a little more homework. Does $90 mean it's brand new in box? Does it mean it's a rare colorway? Why does it sell for 90? Why do some of them sell for 28? I'll do that. If I'm just starting fresh, then I need to spend an hour in there looking at why certain shoes sell for more, sell for less. After that, the second time you do it, it won't take an hour. The third time you do it, it'll only take 5 minutes. So that's why we recommend selling in a niche. For some people, they think we are, Tech and Sports and I are recommending on our podcast to be in a niche because we hate you. It's not because we hate you. It's because it saves time on
Yeah.
research. You don't have to spend an hour next time because you already did it one time. In the beginning, it's hard because you don't know anything. So for me, when I'm looking up stuff, sometimes it takes me a long time because I don't know. On Friday, we had our event, so I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this because apparently nobody wants to come. Last Friday, we had our second event. People came. It took me 2 minutes to list an item this time instead of 1 minute because I was doing more research. Doesn't matter though. 2 minutes versus 1 minute didn't affect my day. That's only 1 minute longer. For 10 listings, it's only 10 minutes longer. I have 10 minutes. So extra minute is fine, but I don't want to research an hour extra per item. I don't have 10 hours to research 10 different random items. So 10 minutes per item extra sounds horrible, guys. That's too long. So I just think that stay in your lane and just I don't think people are just too arrogant. I'm okay being an idiot. So I don't want to spend an hour researching something I don't know anything about anymore. Since I'm an idiot, I just want to stick to things that I already know. All of my problems in my business have been from thinking I'm smart when I'm not. So it's a lot easier to just think you're dumb.
Thank you, busy girl.
Appreciate you.
Let's see. Compassionate Angel 14 says, hello, Chris. Can you explain how to find out the sell through rate for your category and where you should be compared to that number? Is it possible to be higher?
Oh yeah, definitely. And once you start doing the homework, you'll realize that this is like secret sauce when we talk about in our group. About 10% of the sellers on eBay get 90% of the sales. That's really sad because it means that 90% of the people are wasting their time. They're listing things that will never sell. They're just literally wasting their time. So what you'll find, here's an example. Filson, Filson, leather. If you type in Filson leather in the eBay, right, and look at the solds are higher than what's listed. It has a higher than 1% sell-through rate. Within those items, there are even some items that sell within a week, which means there's all these people at home who have Filson leather saved. And when you post something Filson leather, they look at it immediately. It might sell in 5 minutes because people are looking for things made Filson, made in USA, leather. It's so rare these days to find good quality stuff. They want it immediately. They want to be on it. So it's definitely possible and encouraged to do better than what's the average. Because right now, like, guys, there is no benefit to being average. On average, on eBay, full-time resellers make $2,000 a month gross. We're talking about $500 to $1,000 profit for the whole month, working 160 plus hours a month. Do you want to be average? You want to do what everybody else is saying? People keep saying this guy over here does that. That guy over there, he has to live at home with his parents. He needs government assistance. He cannot support himself. He's dependent. You guys want to be independent. You want to run your own show, call the shots, do your own rules. Then you got to do what most people do not do. You got to become in the top 10% of people that get 90% of sales. It's sad, but that's the. I was looking at on. They were telling me sometimes when I'm on Whatnot, I get 90% of the sales in my category. Like, there's like 100 people on the platform at that time, 90 of them are in my show. That's how I want to be. I don't want to be like I don't want to start the show when I'm running. That would be horrible. If I'm running and 90% of people are on somebody else's show, that's tough to get on there and try to make it work. You want to come in with your own unique thing to draw people to you, and you can keep them and get all the sales. That's what we're showing here. It's not fast. I just told you guys I've been grinding for like 10 years in a row. It's not fast, but once you get there, I think it's worth it. Earlier this morning, I've tried not having money before. I'm pretty sure working hard is better.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Minimalist by Force. They say, thanks for everything. 15K in 90 days.
Woo, I love it.
1,300 sold, 160 listed, and have never had more than 240 items at once because my sell-through is excellent.
That is amazing. That's guys.
Yeah.
This is the tutorial right here. 15,000 in sales over 90 days with not more than 240 items.
Wow.
That's great.
Tony Lynn Steele says, are you finding that you're having to change your process or mindset since starting Poshmark versus eBay? Like the same rules, different platform, or are you changing processes?
So far, it's been easier on Poshmark because there's less competition. There's not as much traffic. On eBay, there's a lot more people looking at the item. As an example, I have some good American jeans that I'm 100% sure would have been sold out on eBay by now. They're not sold out on Poshmark because there's less people buying them on there. But I am sometimes getting more money than on eBay because everybody else has their good American jeans 20, 30, 40, $50 higher than mine. So it's a lot easier. It's way more competitive on eBay. Like trying to sell the same pair of jeans on eBay, I gotta be a little cheaper, but they would sell out. So it's kind of like, it has adapted because on Poshmark, most people have stores where they don't want to get lowballed, so they price high. And so I don't do that. I just price at market. So somebody said, how many percentage of your sales come from best offer? Let me find out. So 46. 78% of my sales come from best offer on Poshmark, according to their insights. So 78%, but I only discount 10%. Guys, that should be a really big hint, right? That means I'm already priced well because I only need to discount my items 10% for it to sell, right? That's a big difference. Imagine you discount your item 40% and people still don't buy it. Like, what are you doing? Why are you priced so high? If I did a 50% off sale, my entire closet would sell out in one day. So I don't know if I should, I'm not going to do that, but I feel like that would prove a point.
Dana says, have you sold bulk lots on Whatnot, trying to get through lots of inventory?
I have. I've sold bulk, singles, expensive stuff, luxury stuff. Yeah, every kind of thing you can think of. The only thing I haven't sold on Whatnot is pallets, which I would like to do.
Thank you for the super chat, Bold Finds.
James, James, everybody follows Bold Finds James. I'm not going to do a marathon with you because...
that was the question. One of those questions.
Was it?
Yeah, did you manage to find a marathon to sign up for?
No, I'm not going to do a marathon with you. I thought about it, but I will sign up for a 5K. I know that's not hard, but I just want to do a 5K in 20 minutes. I don't know what you guys think. I would rather be fast. So a 5K in 20 minutes, that'll be my goal. So I need to find out. Can somebody help me out with when the London Marathon is? Because James signed up for the London Marathon. Let me know when that date is, and I'll start training for my 20-minute 5K. But I ain't got time to run 26 miles. That's so far, and I'm not built for that. I want to look like a sprinter, right? I don't want to look like, you guys know. I don't want to look like a long distance runner. I want to look like a sprinter. So
he says, thank you to the best coaches out there. Chris and Tech have changed my business and life.
I love it. Thank you for being there with us the whole time.
Let's see. Question from Sylvia Hunt.
Sylvia, what's up?
Hi, Chris. What I understand is better to post more brand than ones that don't have a label.
Sorry, I had to do a thumbnail for Whatnot. Yeah, you want to sell. eBay is brand heavy. People who can't make decisions on their own need to say something on the front like Gucci to prove that they have self-worth. So it's much easier to sell a brand like Gucci or Louis Vuitton or Hermes because people get the clout from the brand. But if you're trying to sell something that's like silk, made in Vietnam, handmade, floral, it's just more difficult because less people are looking for that. They're just looking for the brand. People type in their favorite brand and their size.
Don says, are there items that you can sell where you can sell the items in its contents individually? For example, items that are individually wrapped but not intended for individual resale, like a golf ball out of a pack.
You can do that. I uh, I think there are some unique bundle situations that you could do that would make money. One example would be coconut water. I've seen people do really well with like how many waters can fit into a padded flat rate envelope, and like maybe somebody doesn't want to buy a Costco sized coconut water. They only want 4. You're the only one selling 4 coconut waters. That and it says right on there, not meant for individual resale, right? But you're still making it work. You're doing the hustle. I don't find anything wrong with that. I literally saw somebody buy a whole pallet of coconut juice, coconut water, coconut liquid at Costco for that purpose.
Wow. Havid says, I'm getting no sales the last 2 weeks. I was getting like 3 to 4 sales a day. I'm selling smartwatches, luggage, basketball shoes, cloud slides, and more. Do you
Yeah.
know why?
Yes. So for those particular markets with what you're selling, you're not competitive. So it's difficult when you have that many different categories because I'd have to spend a whole month figuring out what's wrong in each individual category. So you just got to go in there, and what most likely happened is your good stuff sold, and you're left with some duds. That's usually what happens. People's good stuff sells right away, and then you get stuck with what's left.
D Left says, what's your opinion on reselling with the potential economic implosion of this country? Any plans, or are you just going to ride this till the wheels fall off?
It's going to be awesome. The next, hopefully, I can become a decamillionaire, as Jeff Koga in our group would call it, before the age of 50. And I can't. It would surprise me on this trajectory if I don't sell $30 million worth of stuff before I'm 50. And I want to be at 1/3 margin or better. So it would be very unusual for me to not hit my goal because of the economic situation. Retail is dying. Everyone that's running a store, they can't sell anything because nobody has any money. So all that stuff is being liquidated. All of it's in the market. The super rich people, they have too much money, so they just keep buying stuff and donating it. So I think reselling is going to be amazing for the next 10 years, except for the people who are not improving. The people who are not improving and you're not getting better, you're getting crushed because there's more and more people are reselling, right? More and more people are listening to the podcast and niching down. So you just finding random things, you're competing against people who only sell one thing. You find one pair of binoculars, you post it on eBay, you're competing against people who only sell binoculars. So I'm not saying you can't do it if you're not niche down, it's just more difficult.
First 1,000 hours says, are you back on eBay?
Not yet. So I was going to manifest it this summer, but it's already June and we're not there yet. So I don't know if it'll come back. And I don't even know what I would do with an eBay store. It would have to be at home because I don't want to spend any more hours here. Yeah, I already have such limited time. That's why people keep saying, "Oh, you'll never be big enough." I'm already too big. I'm shrinking. I've been shrinking. So happy with my crew. I hope they stay with me forever. So
Would you
that's
change your Poshmark closet to be eBay if you got your eBay store back?
maybe I would change my Poshmark closet into eBay, but I'm actually enjoying Poshmark. It's like a lot easier. Like eBay requires like so much like raw effort to make it work. Poshmark is like somebody told me in the morning call that Poshmark suppresses your listings after 90 days. So I was just thinking of maybe changing my goal so that my items sell in 90 days instead of 180. But then I decided that based on what I see on Poshmark, I think I'll be fine because I don't think my items will last that long anyway. And if they do, I'm going to discount my items every 30 days. So at 90, 120, 150, 180, I still discount my items. I feel like that is good enough to trigger the algorithm. So it's the same on eBay. They suppress your listings after 90 days, but people sell listings that are years old all the time by making a change.
Thank you for the super chat, Jez the Secondhand Man. They say, thanks for all the free content you put out. It's almost all transferable here to the UK, and I've implemented so much of it and seen results.
I
Cheers.
love it. And if you want to check out the UK call, which is led by Bold Finds, that call is fantastic. It is entirely UK specific. If I think my stuff applies even if you live in Antarctica, but the UK one is a little bit different. They talk about Royal Mail, different shipping solutions. The Goodwills and the charity shops in the UK are different. So they're not the same as here. So it's good to know regionally what's best for you. We're still trying to get Germany and Canada going. So if you guys know anyone out there in Deutschland or in Canada, reach out to me at chrisdailyrefinement.com. We're trying to get those 2 international calls going. Right now we have Australia and the UK.
Tony Lynn Steele has a second question. Do you sell all items for $20 profit, even if you can get more profit?
No, some items if I can get 100, I get 100. Some items I get 500, I can get 500. Some items if I lose money, I still sell it. In my model on Whatnot, I want all of my stuff to sell within 2 months. Poshmark, I don't have to do that, but the average is going to be $20. So I'm looking for a $35 average sell price on Poshmark, $8 buy cost or lower. Here, $60 average sell price, $20 buy cost or lower. That's what I'm looking at. Right now, it's looking pretty good on Poshmark. I am in that realm. It's only been the, I'm going to show you guys the, so far. So it's the, what day is it? It's the 5th. I have 50 sales so far on Poshmark. And let me see what my average sale price is. I am curious. My average sale price is $33.30. So not quite $35, but my buy cost is way lower than 8. So I'm already there, so just keep it going for the rest of the year. And I was thinking, I have 2 kids, and I want to maximize their 529 accounts. And I was thinking, they said that for your kid to go to any school comfortably, you need to have $250K saved per kid. That's a lot. That means I have to save $500,000 for them. But they were saying if you want to give your kid like a head start, right? Maybe like 40,000 per kid. So that would be 80,000 for 2 kids. Then they can go to a community college. They can start getting some classes. If they want to go to a good school, at least you're paying for some of it. You're getting them going. For me, on my value chart, education is important. So I want them to at least have that option. They can also use that money to do a vocational school. If they wanted to sign up for our group, they could use that account to pay for that, to educate themselves to become a reseller or a plumber or whatever. That money can be used for that. So I feel like that's a good investment, and I want to use my Poshmark closet to fund that. So that's sort of what I'm thinking. To do that, between 80 and 200, or between 40 and 250K per kid, as an investment into their education. I like that. Both my wife and I had a positive college experience. I know a lot of people say college is a waste of time. For me, I didn't learn how to make money in college, but I don't think it was a waste of time.
Gem Drops says, what do you think the impact of the Patagonia versus Nordstrom Rack case will impact eBay Poshmark selling, if any?
I don't think it'll have any effect. eBay is too big. There's 153 million sales a day on eBay. It's so big. There are no like groundbreaking lawsuits or cases really that I've seen really affect the market that much, because resellers can always switch. It's not like you are stuck. The brick and mortars are affected by that more, because like if you're a brick and mortar trying to sell Patagonia for 90 and it's on eBay for 30, like it crushes you. You can't really make it, right? Like, because people are in your store Googling. That happened to Holly, had a brick and mortar, and people would be in her shop Googling it. And it's horrible for business because the resale market is so much cheaper. So it affects brick and mortar more than us.
Ernesto says, do you think your seller username will affect your sales? Will having a catchy seller name determine if you are successful?
No, the biggest eBay sellers have names that don't mean anything. E4 City is cute, but like not the reason they're successful. BHFO, the largest clothing seller on eBay, that's just the names of their kids. So it doesn't, doesn't mean anything.
First 1,000 hours says, do you think Temu will be a major competitor to eBay?
Yeah, I think so. Temu,
Temu.
at least for goods, new stuff, I think so. Temu is pretty cool. Temu and Wish are both pretty solid. So eBay's not doing a very good job of innovating. And TikTok, I see a lot of Temu, but I don't see eBay on TikTok really. So, I mean, they're really not doing a very good job of marketing. They're just sort of collecting money at this point. Nothing wrong with that. They've already put their time in, but they're not really innovating. They're more just collecting money at this point. A lot of people still shop on eBay. They're taking advantage of that.
Liam's Hustle says, would you consider listing daily?
That's always.
Yes.
That's the only way I consider doing things. Poshmark is just a little weird because the algorithm does reward listing daily, but it's more on sharing. So it's like about 10 a day is my goal for my Poshmark closet. 10 a day. And then on this side, I'm thinking that I've been really trying to do 200 a day, but it's kind of stressing me out. And 100 a day is enough. But I'm also thinking, like, what happens if people are right? What if the critics are right and reselling is dead in 1 year? Then shouldn't I make money while I can? Because 200 is really stretching it for me. It's really hard. Like a Memorial Day, I had to come here at 4 in the morning and get stuff done, so I didn't miss the family barbecue. I don't know, but part of me thinks that we should be making as much money as possible because maybe the easiest time to resell is right now. I don't really see it getting. Do you guys in the chat think it's going to get easier? I don't know if that's the case. I personally don't think it's going to get easier. So let's say all the naysayers are right and eBay is dead. Well, they have 153 million sales a day now. Might as well try to sell something until they go out of business, I guess.
Armand is asking, hey Chris, why are the call recordings for Jack getting uploaded so late?
Because it's on the weekend. So I'll update it after this. It's hard because on Mondays I'm still getting back in the groove. So I'll do a better job of that. Appreciate you bringing that to light.
The salesman says, fill in the blanks. A $75,000 year store has X amount of listings, selling X amount a day, and selling at an average price of X. Does this apply to all niches?
Yeah, it's the same for every single niche. Sell-through rate, what it sells for, your buy cost, shipping is always the same. Building, supply, staff, cost of goods, shipping, platform fee. Doesn't matter what category you're in. You just need to do the math for your own category. $70,000 a year is around $150 a day. Wait, it's around $200 a day. Let's just be safe, $200 a day. That's the goal of my Poshmark closet. $200 a day.
Peter Lopez says, hi, I sell video games on eBay and
Yep.
would like to see sales consistently. I have about 110 listings and only 1 day to source. Am I screwed?
No, just have to be realistic. You're probably not going to take over the world with 1 day a week to source. So you just have to have your business that's your size and then take one step in a better direction each week. That's all you can do. On Mondays in my group, all I do is ask people, are you closer or further away from your goal? Don't have a goal, I'm giving you the goal of $2,000 per week. If you're just sourcing 1 day a week, think about, can you source longer that day? Could you add a second sourcing day? You have 110 listings. Would you double your sales if you went to 220? Or it doesn't work like that because some categories it doesn't do that. It's not linear. Like you start cannibalizing on the same sales. And a very, very good example of that would be if you were to just add one quantity to all your items, that does not double your sales. That gives you an idea of what selling the exact same thing would do. You need to sell different things in the same category.
Littiness Wishes says, so we should put all our stuff on best offer?
I think so. I think you should always accept best offer. You can always decline. No one's holding a gun to your head. You can always decline. We're gonna do 3 more questions, and I want to share a quick story for you guys.
Okay.
So I was pressure washing my house. I bought a pressure washer from Home Depot, 2,000 psi, right? And it was pulsing. It was like on, off, like zzz, zzz, zzz. It wouldn't stay on. So I didn't cry. I didn't go into a Facebook. I just Googled my Ryobi toy pressure cleaner that I bought at Home Depot, right? 2,000 psi, not for commercial use. It's not working. It's pulsing on and off. Imagine this, a million videos, right? Go to the first one. It says, maybe the nozzle is dirty, right? I used WD-40 to clean it. And I also did not know WD-40 is a cleaner and a lubricant. So he does it, puts it on, it works magically. I tried, did not work, still did not work. So watch the next YouTube video. This guy, 8 minutes to get to the point. Then he said, try WD-40, didn't work for me either. So I went in there with a little wire brush and I tried to clean out the little nozzle, and then it worked for me. So I'm like, okay, interesting. So what I did was, that guy put the WD-40 nozzle inside of a plastic bag. So it was kind of like soaking in it. I tried that, it didn't work, but then I realized that what I did was I used the WD-40 nozzle to spray in a circle around the entire circumference of both sides of the nozzle. Then when I put it in, it ended up working. So it took me around 13 minutes to figure out how to clear the nozzle so that my pressure washer would work. I think most people listening wouldn't have been able to do that in one day. Like, from what I'm hearing from people, they wouldn't have been able to watch 3 videos in a row, look for solutions. I luckily had WD-40, but I did not have a wire brush. I just had to use the little nozzle thing to really spray around it to get all the gunk out of it. And now I realize that people store the nozzle on the hose, and it might develop mold or rust or something inside that and not work. And amazing, the pressure washer literally says on it, please remove the nozzle and dry before next use. I did not do that last time. That's why it didn't work this time. So that simple problem solving where it takes a minute, right? Just because one person did it and it worked and you tried it and it didn't work doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You're going to have to investigate a little bit further. I just think that I didn't give up or cry or whine or call. I guess I could have called Tech because he probably knew the answer to that, but like, I just tried to figure it out. And I want everyone to do that with everything. If your sales are slow, don't try one thing and say it doesn't work and then just give up. I don't know about you, but that's not good enough. You guys got to really, really persevere. Okay, 3 more questions.
Jonathan says, how many days vacation do you take a year? Do you feel like that's enough?
Yes. So I wrote that down yesterday. I had this exercise that I'm going to give to Christine, where you write down your ideal family, and I put that perfect world. Like, I'm a bajillionaire, I would take 4 to 8 weeks vacation a year, but I'm not yet. So I'm okay with 4 vacations per year that are at least the weekend. So we've been doing that forever. We never, about once a quarter, we go on a weekend long thing, at least one day somewhere else, or multiple day trips or something. I'm perfectly happy with that. My wife has this the career goal of being able to support the family on her own without me. So she likes to work, but she likes the 4-week vacation idea when we make it. So 2 weeks vacation minimum, 4 weeks vacation, 4 to 8 weeks vacation if we make it. But I'm in the forum Fat Fire on Reddit, and even people who are super rich, they still usually work about 8 months a year because it gets boring. So they just do 8 months on a job that doesn't require them to make money. They just work, but doesn't even volunteer. They help other people for 8 months a year. They don't just go on vacation 12 months a year, unless you're an influencer. Influencers are like always on vacation, showing everybody everything, but then they're also not really on vacation, because if you ever watch how they make those travel videos, it's work the whole time.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
It's not like that Bali video, that probably took 2 weeks and they didn't really enjoy it. So that's why I never really make videos when I'm on vacation. Just, this is the video, I make videos here at work and then I leave this and go somewhere to relax.
Yeah. The Rusty Bucket says, at what point in our reselling do you feel we can benefit the most from joining your group?
Anytime you feel like you want to get closer to your goal every week. So join, I'm giving you the goal, 100 sales a week, $2,000 profit. You're going to say, no, I can't do that. What can you do? 1 sale per week for $1 profit. Great. 1 sale per week, $1 profit. Next thing you buy, more than $1 profit, try to sell at least 2 of them. So you benefit right away. I would say that beginners get the most out of it because they've never been around people who are doing well. Somebody just posted that there's no one that they know that makes over $13 an hour, right? Why wouldn't you join a group where there are tons of people making hundreds or thousands of dollars an hour? Totally like change your mindset from you know, whatever you were doing before to there's this new software being plugged in. We were talking about altered carbon earlier before the show, and how you can download your memories. I want to live. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to lose weight, because I think lighter people live longer. I want to live long enough so they can download my brains into a memory card and plug it into a new vessel. Maybe I only have this body for so long, but hopefully I can take my mind and put it into. I'd even be okay like being in something that's like a turtle. That's better than being gone.
Turtle.
I'd rather be a turtle after this life with my brain and still try to learn things as a turtle. Life would be a lot different. You'd be in the ocean,
It'd be
right?
pretty interesting. Yeah.
But I just I don't want it to go away. It's like spent so much effort learning things. I don't want it to go turn to dust.
Raja says, is it better to list as a sell one like this or list from scratch?
Ideally, you want to list someone like this from your own listing that you've already optimized.
Yeah.
If not, second best would be from scratch. Third best would be using somebody else's listing and manually correcting every single thing.
The mountain is avalanching.
I might have to go after this question. One more question. You guys alive? You're okay.
Okay.
They're okay.
There's an avalanche of stuff back there.
I don't know. Could you guys hear that in the background? Probably. It's pretty
I
loud.
don't know. Okay, Found by Chance says, does your selling/buying strategy change depending on what you're selling? I love vintage hard goods, but I'm not selling fast enough. I'm trying to figure out a strategy, and I've been selling for 1.5 years.
Yeah, I have changed my mind. I just want to buy things that sell within 6 months on Poshmark and within 2 months on Whatnot. I see a whole bunch of really cool lots, and I'm not as interested in those anymore because I don't want overproduction. Right now, I look at this and it didn't really hit me until like maybe 10 days ago that I'm overbuying. Like I'm about 2 months ahead on inventory, and I don't want to be 2 months ahead. I want to be two weeks ahead. So I'd like to not overbuy. So in order to not overbuy, I can't buy stuff like vintage electronics because it may take a while to sell. A Marantz record player is awesome, but it's not going to necessarily sell fast. I actually think a Marantz record player would still sell fast, but it's just like that balance between things that are going to sell right away and the things that are going to take a while and have to sit on. I just don't really have the space to do that. When I sold that pair of baby Jordans as a pity sale, someone on YouTube bought it because they felt bad for me. I was like, okay, no more baby Jordans for me. I'm good. I might be able to find some really cool baby Jordans or baby foam posits or baby Vans, but I'm okay. I'm okay leaving it there because somebody else, some other reseller who knows what they're doing can pick it up. I'll just stick to what I know, which is like outerwear, a few women's pieces, a couple of dresses here or there. I'm still working on the $20 profit and higher. You know, it'll take me some time to get up there to the people who are, you know, selling stuff for $50, $100, $200 profit. I'm not at that stage yet, but I know I want things to sell fast, and I'm not in the storage business. I don't even want stuff in my life that lasts that long, minus my relationships. My other rule that I didn't write down that you guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so. But the other one I put is do long-term things with long-term people. That's my, I really like that. Like meet people, I either want to do business with them forever or never. So like, I told you guys about Juan at the library who trying to get my phone number so our kids could have a play date. And I kept like inching away from him because I knew he was going to try and do that, and I don't care. So I don't have time for Juan. And Juan's a good guy. I just don't have time to hang out with him. But he ended up getting my number from my wife. And now we have to hang out with him and his kid, Augusto. Very cute kid, but now like I feel like it's short term. Short term. I'm not going to be friends with Augusto and Juan for very long. And I just want that longer term thing. What I do want is like I have some friends where last year we did a trip up to Eugene and we did a hangout with them when our kids played together. I want to do that every year forever. That's long-term things with long-term people. Juan, once in a while hang out at the library. It's okay, but I just, if I'm only going to be friends with you for a single serving or a couple times, I don't know if I'm going to put as much effort into it because it's just like the one night stand to me is not as interesting. I want all these long-term relationship type deals. But we'll call it, guys. This has been a lot of questions. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
We're going to film a video, and I'll see you guys next week.
Yep, we'll do another Q&A live next week, so keep all your questions.
And Christine has a boba tea protein drink.
That's not that one, but
That sounds exciting.
yes, you
so
should
we'll
get
see you
it.
guys
It's
next
so
week.
good. Okay, bye everyone.
Where'd you get it?